17, Brett Hundley was placed in, and Jamal Williams had a phenomenal game.
The go! Yeah!
This is
screen pass to the house, outrunning TJ Watt. All the Packer fans saying we should draft TJ Watt. Well, guess what? Jamal Williams outrunning, all right?
There you have it. Jamal Williams had a fantastic game last time against the Pittsburgh Steelers. In 2017, funnily enough, the Packers have had, I wouldn't say a storied matchup. It's been pretty bare for matchups against the Packers and Steelers over the past decade. Aaron Rodgers only has one regular season start against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that was all the way back in 2009. And it's been a long, long time since the Packers beat the Steelers in the regular season. Our friend Mike Spofford had that stat out earlier this morning. But that's enough of that. Big B, how are you feeling? It's game day. We're about an hour out exactly.
Feeling pretty confident, kind of worried for the offensive line, but Packers still dropping 30 no matter what happens.
Yep, the sign of it just seems almost too good to be true. Like, the Steelers offense sucks. This should be a very easy game for the Packers, but as we have seen in the past, sometimes it doesn't go to plan, and the offense gets completely shut down on the very first drive. But we don't need that pessimism. There's a lot of ball game left. We'll wait before the first snap before we make any declarations. So before we get into our final things that we want to get out there, because in our episode we did we did a big overview. So, but before I went on my Kevin Keane tirade that got cut out of the episode, I wanted to get some final predictions in, some score predictions, X Factor players, all of that good, fun, kind of lighthearted stuff that just gets some conversation started. But before we do that, and we'll talk about this in our recap episode tomorrow, I want to talk about Big B's story of Wes Hackwitz, friend of the show, Wes Hackwitz at Packers.com, how Big B lost in a card bidding match to Wes for a Tim Boyle card.
That don't happen very often. I lose.
I need you to describe how you found out that Wes was the cheap jerk who ended up stealing that TBLS card from you.
Well, he posted on his Instagram story, so that's how I first found out about it. And I'm like, this son of a bitch really just stole this from me, didn't he? And yeah, he did. I went back on eBay, checked to see with the numbering on it, and it was 4 out of 25 or whatever, and that matches up perfectly.
Oh my god, that's pretty hilarious. So you're trying to enjoy your day on Instagram. We're still live, but I've been in many tense matches with Big B and bidding words, so that is hilarious that he's just scrolling through his Instagram stories and then he's like, "Oh, Wes, oh, we were friends. Just talked highly of us yesterday, and then you go steal this TBLS card from me."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll talk about that in tomorrow's episode because that's pretty hilarious, quite the coincidence. Now though, let's focus on Packers versus Steelers. We got our inactives list today. We got 4 of those. With a lot of players on injured reserve, Packers roster is only at 52. So only 4 players have to be inactive. And today those were Ladarius Hamilton, outside linebacker, Elton Jenkins, and Kevin Keane. And then who was the other one? Was it
Chris Barnes?
Chris Barnes out with a concussion. So Andy Herman put it all together, really, of all the Packers, pretty much the desired starters that are going to be out for the Packers, whether it be players like David Bakhtiari, who's been out for a while, or players on IR. So we got David Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins, 2 players on the offensive line, 2 of the best players on the offensive line, Zadarius Smith, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Dominique Daphne, Chris Barnes, Tyler Lancaster, and Kevin Keane. That's quite a bit of substantial players. So
yeah,
to have all those guys missing is obviously a big deal. But these next 2 weeks, Ever since the Saints game, and everybody's talking like very optimistic and pretty much, I would say, pretty cocky about the Packers' talent levels. I've been pretty cautious of how bad I trash talk teams. I'm not going to Matt Ramage extenses on trash talking teams, and I think even he's calmed down a little bit. He's Matt, just because he knows how bad it can bite him. So I've been trying to keep a level headed, but with that being said, Steelers, Bengals next week. Hopefully, those are two games where Packers are able to get by with just their core players and Devontae, Rodgers, Jones on offense. Hopefully, they're able to get by. And then in 3 weeks here, they'll get a boatload of guys back with MVS, David Bakhtiari being eligible to return, Elton Jenkins. So that will be big for the team. And then let's see here. We got a question from my dad on Jack Heflin, his first game active all season. Thoughts on playing Heflin over Kingsley Keke. This defensive line through 3 weeks has just been so bad. I haven't watched. I didn't end up watching the 49ers game for a second time, but when I rewatched week 2, I didn't rewatch week 1 because I didn't want to. There's no point to put myself through torture twice. I'm an analyst to the point where I'll act like I know what I'm doing when I'm rewatching if we win. But if we lose, I'm not going. The analyst can go to sleep, you know. Mm-hmm. But in week 2, when I was rewatching, I pretty much solely looked at Tyler Lancaster and Dean Lowry and Kingsley Keke, whoever was in the interior of the defensive line outside of people named Kenny Clark. And all things considered, the Lions have a great offensive line. Frank Ragnow, 2 other veteran guards whose names I can't forget. But like the Lions have a good offensive line, but just watching that interior defensive line get pushed around was pretty painful to watch. I'm not too familiar with the Steelers' offensive line. Hopefully, it's not too similar to their defensive line on the other side of the ball.
But I've heard and seen that the Steelers' offensive line is absolute dog shit. So that's what I hear.
All right.
Hopefully,
that's good to know.
Yeah. Seriously, just left me. Wow.
So I just decided to quit.
All right.
But yeah, hopefully that defense line can do better.
What the hell, man? Just leaving me out here to
put pressure on Big Ben Roethlisberger like you had in your 3 keys. Speaking of that, let's hear your 3 keys, your weekly video for this week.
All right. Stopping Najee Harris, especially in the passing game, the blocking, and getting pressure on Roethlisberger.
Yeah, Big Ben. I was talking to my friend CJ, who he used to live here, but near me, and now he lives in Texas. Steelers fan, and I said we're going to drop 40 on you tomorrow, and he said, "Yeah, that's probably true considering we have an ancient artifact at quarterback." So, Big Ben, he had his days, but his run has definitely come to an end here. So that'll be big. Just like Tom Brady, like we tried to do last year, put pressure on him, make him panic. But at the same time, that's how the Steelers tried to get things going on offense first 3 weeks. They know that Big Ben isn't going to be able to escape any pressure. So they know they got to get the ball out quick, just like the Packers did last week. We'll see if they can be successful at that today with Jair Alexander and Eric Stokes, the 2 cornerbacks. All right, let's do it now. Score predictions. I don't get why we do these, why it's a thing in general, because it's so literally impossible to predict. But I like to. Hopefully, it gives a good idea. We're able to present it in a way that gives the audience an idea of more of how the game is going to go rather than just throwing out two random numbers. So I'll go here first with my score prediction. I'll say I think it's going to be kind of a low scoring game, even for the Packers. And I'll say 20-10 Green Bay gets one.
Okay, I'm going to go 35-17. Packers get the W.
Hey, man, didn't the Bengals throw 30 on the Steelers last week?
I think so. Not sure.
Pretty sure. I know they got a few interceptions on Ben, too. So that hopefully the Packers can do that as well and pretty much run away with it after second half, kind of like a few weeks ago against Detroit. But that doesn't mean we have to keep the first half performance from the defense of Detroit carry over to here. Hopefully Joe Barry can stack success after a pretty promising performance against San Fran. All right, next up, we got X Factor players. I like to go with Devondre Campbell every week. But today I'm going to say Josh Myers, who's had, for a rookie, along with Royce Newman, they've played very well starting day one on the offensive line. So he's got to keep that up. Hopefully, Yash Nyman, pretty much all of the offensive line is going to have a big task today to keep Aaron in one piece. Big B, who's your X Factor player?
I'm going to go with Alan Lazard, also on the offensive side. With MVS out, I expect him to get a lot more targets than he has had. Only get thrown the ball just a couple times per game. I expect that to increase today.
Yeah, these first few weeks looking at the box score, and you can really just feel that, I mean, the passing game is exclusively Devontae Adams, Robert Tonyan, and Aaron Jones. So we'll see in a few deep shots to MVS that Rodgers has struggled to connect on. So we'll see here maybe once they start getting more into the flow of their offense, and get some more plays developed, and then they'll be better set. I gotta say, baby, David Bakhtiari just like creeping over behind your shelf it's a little bit creepy.
Just a little.
I just he's kind of scaring me a bit, but when I just keep on glancing back over him. Let's see. It is raining today. Should keep score down. Plus, goofy things can happen in the rain. Definitely. Some knee fumbles, some things that Jared Goff was pulling off. We'll see if Big Ben wants to implement any of that. So
yeah,
probably a little sloppy. We'll see how long the rain carries over. I know for sure it's going to rain for the first hour, and then after 4 o'clock, second quarter, we'll see what the weather is looking like. Big B, any other hard-hitting analysis you want to add?
Go Pack Go.
Every time, but it's good enough. It's all you need in life, as my Lambeau Field tour guide once said. But thank you all for watching this live stream. Me and Big B will be back either tomorrow evening or Tuesday morning to recap a Packers win against the Pittsburgh Steelers as they move on to 3-1. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow us on all the social medias. We'll see you later. Go Pack.
Wrong button. Really? Seriously clicks the wrong button. Doesn't end it. I don't know how to end it, so...